You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Welcome everybody into Sim Racing Media tonight. The drivers of the Western States Racing League head to the Glen, Watkins Glen. Not only do they turn right, but they will also make the left-hand turns. Last week, we saw a dominating performance by Justin Michael, leading 47 laps at Michigan. Was able to bring home the win by almost a second over teammate Andrew Schulte. Ross Rollins back in third, Lyle Swearingen in fourth. Standings, Andrew Schulte has a pretty big lead right now, but that's going to go away once they start incorporating the drop weeks once we get to race 16 and so on, as Justin Michael had to miss a race. So he is 31 points back, but he has 4 wins, 6 top 5s out of his 9 races that he has completed. And Andrew Schulte doesn't have any wins, but of the 10 races, he's finished top 5 7 times. So they are definitely going to be in a tight battle. Michael Melfeld Jr. is in second, minus 21 points from Schulte. Ryan Steele back in fourth with Lyle Swearingen in fourth as well, tied with the same amount of points. We'll see how it all shakes out as they get ready to start their qualifying run here. Got Justin T. Wilkinson out on track. Headed through the bus stop. Working on that out lap. There are basically 13 corners around this racetrack. And you'll see these drivers make several turns. You'll see a lot of passing, I believe, coming out of turn 1. Not so much through the S's, but the back straight before you get to that bus stop back there. And then after the outer loop, headed down one of the longer straightaways we have here. Oh, JTW about through the little bus stop, or inner loop as they call it here. Getting as much speed as he can coming to the second to last corner. We'll see what his time will be here. All these guys have better get on track pretty quickly. They don't have too much time. You see him get almost to that outside wall. We'll see that quite a bit as well. First lap for him was a 1:14.13. But Justin Michael finished it just behind him and went with a 1:13.62. Chad Simpson a 1:14.37. Julian Ricci is completing his lap. See where he's at, 1:19. Chris Sumard jumps up to pole position with a 1:13.53. Ryan Steele with a 1:14.85. One guy it looks like I'm missing. Oh, no. He's up there. Christian Bishop. Christian Bishop, last time we were here, he led 25 laps and brought home the victory. Bentley Glazer was in second and Jeff Schmeier in third. But the competition around has changed as they are getting more and more. Chris Sumar, a 1:13.53. We'll see if he can go any faster. Justin Michael just completed his second lap. And looks like it's basically the same time. 1:13.53, so. Chris Sumar went a little bit slower that time. Christian Bishop went back there. Mike Fisher with a 1:13.96. Lyle Swearingen with a 1:13.60. Bob Beltrami finished his lap with a 1:15.96. Brian Barnes starting his. Butch Davis rolling through. Got about a third of the way through his first lap. Dan Brazington tried his first lap and got a 1:16.21. Jump back to Andrew Schulte. Got that 81 machine rolling here. And looks like he will stop before the start finish line. Butch Davis rolling through the second to last corner. See what Butch can do here. P5, 1:13.72. Like we have 18 drivers that have taken a qualifying lap. Butch Davis gets loose there. See what Jeff Schmeier can do here. Let's see. Brian Barnes coming through to complete his first lap. Like he might have went off track a little too much as it didn't count that first lap. Jeff Schmeier trying to get through here one more time. Depends on what the track limit set, if that's going to be a off track or not. Looks like Andrew Schulte did get a time finally. Jeff Schmeier got a 1:13.77. Andrew Schulte a 13:55. So the top four are pretty tight right there. Brian Barnes' first lap was 1:15.17. Got about 2 minutes left. Well, happy birthday, Beth. We'll see if Jeff can dunk it into the winner's circle here. Coming to the second to last corner, we'll see if he has any more speed. Right now he's sitting P7 in that Toyota number 30. Still sitting P7, 1:13.77. Looks like Chad Stearns might be the only car back out on track in the 05 machine. See if Chad can get this qualifying lap put in as time is running out. He will get it at 1:15.20. The top four drivers on the board right now are 1:13.53 to a 1:13.56. So they definitely know what they're doing here. Let's see if we can get them on track here. There we go. So we got Chris Sumard and Justin Michael making up row 1. Row 2 is Andrew Schulte and Lyle Swearingen. Row 3 is Mike Fisher and Butch Davis. Row 4, Jeff Schmeier and Christian Bishop. Row 5, Justin T. Wilkinson and Michael Melfeld Jr. Chad Simpson and Ryan Steele make up row 6. Row 7 is Charlie Widener and Wayne Hutchinson. Brian Barnes and Chad Stearns in row 8. Row 9, Rob Gall and Bob Beltrami. Dan Brazington and David Weaver make up row 10. Row 11 is Earl Weaver and Julian Ricci. And Barry Phil is back there in 23rd. Michael Bond, Carl Burke, William Fletcher, and Scott Kukas have not got in their cars. Looks like Dan Brazington hasn't either. Chad Stearns, Ryan Steele. So we'll see how fast they all elect to get into their car. But that is where we start. The 77 and 87, almost the same lap times for qualifying. Thousandths of a second separated them. Andrew Schulte a tenth or so back. Lyle Swearingen a tenth is back as well. So these guys are going to be quick on track. We'll see who makes the right decision. They make it through the track. We are set for 36 laps of fun and excitement here at Watkins Glen. We do have quite the pace lap as I have to make it all the way around. Go ahead and bring up the race info. It is a 2.42 mile track. Track temperature is a scorcher at 117 degrees. Ambient air is only 78, so the track is going to be slick. We'll probably see it start to take effect coming around some of the sharper corners, probably turn 1, and also on the exit after the carousel though, before that long straightaway. We'll definitely be on the lookout for that. They should get stacked up pretty closely, and I imagine it's going to be quite the battle up front here with how close they were through qualifying. Justin Michael looking to go back to back. Chris Sumard is looking to try and pick up where he left off after his hip surgery. And as they'll come through the start finish line, it's a little bit uphill, and then they head into the 90-degree corner that goes downhill into the S's and then back uphill through the backstretch. And then as they come through that outer loop, it is a uphill to downhill slide there, so that's something to be aware of as well, as these guys are all getting ready to go. Pace car is going to make that hard right-hand turn and head down pit lane. Chris Sumard has the button. He is going to hit that restart zone, and he is down and away like he was shot out of a gun. He's got almost 0.3 of a second lead already. Justin Michael, Andrew Schulte side by side for second. We'll see if, looks like Michael's going to stay to the outside. Lyle Swearingen goes to the inside. He's going to try and pass Justin Michael momentarily here as they head uphill through the S's. And Justin Michael's down 2 spots. Chris Sumard is out to a pretty good lead as they head uphill to the inner loop here. Everybody pretty well behaved going through. They single filed out pretty quickly here. Chris Sumard starting to pull away just a little bit over Andrew Schulte. Lyle Swearingen back there as well. As we complete lap 1 here at Watkins Glen. Chris Sumard, Andrew Schulte, Lyle Swearingen, Justin Michael, and Butch Davis. Butch Davis trying to stick his nose just inside of Justin Michael to get a run coming off of 1 there, but just couldn't quite get there fast enough. Looking back towards the back, we've got Jeff Schmeier trying to go to the inside of Mike Fisher. As they battle up through the S's, Fisher gets a run and takes the position back. Coming down the back straight here. But he's pretty well behaved. You got the 95 of Charlie Widener and Ryan Steele kind of battling back and forth there for a little bit. David Weaver start that almost neutral slide coming down the hill there. Barry Field brings up the tail there. Dan Brazington and Michael Bourne started from the pits. It looks like Michael Melfeld Jr. got shifted off the track. Let's go back and see kind of what happened here. Looks like he carried a little too much speed and tried to cut Ryan Steele off. And Steele had nowhere to go and just kind of gave him a little bump there. Melfeld Jr. to the inside of Hutchinson. Hutchinson going to be on the inside of the inner loop here through turn 1. They straighten it out. Melfeld Jr. back in 15th after that little hiccup there. Back towards the front. Lyle Swearingen in front of Justin Michael, just behind Andrew Schulte. But Chris Sumard is driving away a little bit. He's out to almost the second lead right now. But the fastest car on the track belongs to Andrew Schulte. Andrew Schulte went to 13:88. We'll see if he can keep up that pace as they go through. We got Jeff Schmeier, Mike Fisher, Chad Simpson, Charlie Widener all kind of battling it out back here. Schmeier is leading them. He's inside the top 8 right now. Looking for a little bit more. We'll see if he's going to be able to get Duncan a couple more spots here. Oh, cut the track a little bit there. Got a little loose coming through the carousel. That downhill run, you'll see him start sliding just a little bit. Try and get that neutral slide as they come off of exit there. Get back on track and make their way down that straightaway. Hit that penultimate corner. That's also one of the spots you're going to see them probably carry a little bit too much speed and wind up going a little bit wide. As you see Smyer trying to exit or apex that corner and wound up a little wide on exit there. Looked like he almost got into the wall. Car still looks pretty clean though. Chris Sumard still out leading this thing. Coming through the carousel, you can just see how much of a downhill turn these guys have going through there. Working through lap 5 here. Andrew Schulte, Justin Michael. Looks like Lyle Swearingen had a little hiccup there. Like Michael Bond went off track a little bit there as well. But Justin Michael and Andrew Schulte are hooked up pretty well here. See if the teammate's going to let Justin Michael get through down on the inside, coming through one. And it looks like he will. Stay to that outside. Let Justin Michael basically take whatever position on the track he wants. Schulte slides in behind. And they are 2-3 right now. Lyle Swearingen back there a little ways. Christian Bishop up 3 spots. Making pretty quick work of this track as usual. Justin T. Wilkinson up there. Butch Davis. Jeff Schmeier trying to pull in this field here. He's about 2.5, almost 3 seconds back from Butch Davis. Butch Davis is also trying to pull in these leaders here. As Andrew Schulte is now free falling backwards as Bishop is beside him. Gets shoved a little bit to the outside, but gonna stay tough on the inside lane coming to the start finish line here. Andrew Schulte is gonna slide in behind him. And Bishop's up 4 spots now. Lyle Swearingen closing in on Justin Michael now as well. Looks like Schulte is going to have his hands full with Justin Wilkinson here momentarily. And if I'm thinking correctly, we're probably going to have a at least one pit stop, probably somewhere around halfway. See, going back through the field here. Earl Weaver, Rob Gall, Mel Felt Jr. You see the damage on that 155 Toyota. Chad Stearns just in front of him. Wayne Hutchinson. Ryan Steele, Brian Barnes up here. Brian Barnes going to try and go to the inside of Widener here. Widener cuts down on him just a little bit, coming into corner entry, which has Brian Barnes have to check up just a little bit. Lost a little bit of time there. Chad Simpson in the 42 machine up here in the 10th spot. Widener trying to go to his outside, gonna try and make the pass before they hit that bus stop, and he will do just that. Mike Fisher in front of him, and Jeff Schmeier has got almost a 5-second lead over these guys, and he's closing in slowly but surely to Butch Davis. Butch Davis now is inside 2 seconds from Jeff Schmeier. But from Butch Davis to the leader, it's almost 8 seconds. So still a lot of work to do, and not a terribly long time to do it, as we are getting close to about a third of the way through. Julian Ricci has a fan in the chat as well. Like he just got back from Hawaii, so definitely glad he's hanging in here, rolling through the laps of Watkins Glen. Bob Beltrami in the Beltrami Salami 14 Ford. Earl Weaver just in front of him. Earl Weaver is one of the guys that puts in a ton of practice. As soon as the session opens, he usually gets out on track and starts rolling laps. Sometimes finds it a little hard to get through, but still tries every week and puts on a pretty good effort every time. Michael Melfeld Jr. into pit lane. Probably going to take that faster pair, get that rear bumper fixed, and see what he can do on the second part of this race. Justin Michael now about 3.5 seconds back of Chris Simard, so it's probably going to have to come down to pit strategy and see if Justin Michael can make it up there, unless Chris Simard makes some mistakes. But the way Chris is driving, I don't know that that's going to be a possibility. Gonna make it through turn one. Everybody pretty much single file in here. Now here's a view that shows you just how uphill those S's are as you're coming down through, or coming up through the S's there. And here's a view of how close you get to the bus stop wall here. Almost all of them try and get as close as they can. Make that as straight of a line as they can. Coming through the bus stop to get as much time on the track. Yeah, Casper, that's definitely the case. He is going to be the class of the field right now. We'll see if anybody can come up with some sort of strategy to at least close the gap. Justin Michael was the fastest car in practice, so he does have the speed, but looks like Chris Simard, looks like Simard got a little bit loose there. Coming out of one, gave back almost a half second of time there. But I mean, I guess when you're 3.5, almost 4 seconds in front, half a second doesn't matter too much as long as you're able to get the car back under you and continue on your way through. He is going to come up on some lap traffic momentarily here. But it's pretty much all Chris Simard right now. See if we can look from the nose of that FBR 77 Chevy here. You can see the car in front of him. He still has a little ways to go here. That looks like that is going to probably be Barry Phil out there in front. Completed lap 12, working on 13 now. Barry Phil slows down and allows the 77 to roll on by. Well, it looks like Justin Michael might have had a hiccup. Let's see what happened to Justin Michael real quick. Oh, yep. That'll do it. I thought I saw Chris Simard get a little loose, and Justin Michael went ahead and followed suit there. So now it's two FBR Motorsports up in front. with Chris Sumard and Lyle Swearingen. Christian Bishop still holding tough here in P3 right at the moment. Guys are just battling out tough as nails here. Neither one really giving them any time here. Justin T. Wilkinson up 5 spots. Christian Bishop also was up 5. One guy back in the field that's up 4 is Earl Weaver. Earl Weaver out there just taking his time, working through the corners. Looks like only one car has made it to pit lane, and that was Michael Melfeld Jr. Came on lap 9. Let's see if he fixed the damage to the rear end there, and he did take his fast repair. So we'll see what the second half of the race holds for that 155 machine. But somebody is going to have to throw down tax or something to get this 77 machine to slow down, as he was almost a second faster last lap than Lyle Swearingen. It looks like Charlie Widener went off track a little bit, so he fell back a couple spots. Almost nobody in the front or rear view of the 77 machine here. Getting close to that halfway mark. Chris Sumard coming on to, looks like Bob Beltrami there on track. Maybe it's not. Oh, no, it's the 34. Another green car. That's an FBR Motorsports machine as well. Christian Bishop is still hanging tough here. Looks like Chad Simpson comes down pit lane. Or looks like he's coming down pit lane. 31 of Rob Gall staying out. Ryan Steele and Wayne Hutchinson battling through. Brian Barnes, all sorts of messed up there going through the S's. Working lap 17 here. Looks like Jeff Schmeier jumps into pit lane. Mike Fisher as well. We'll see if Chris Sumard stays out any more laps or if he elects to come down. Lyle Swearingen still hanging around back here. Like he's going to have to get by Michael Bourne as well. Looks like Chris is staying out, so we'll see how long he elects to stay out there. Butch Davis making a pass here on Andrew Schulte. Butch Davis up in 5th. As these guys are battling through here on lap 18, we're going to step aside, take our only commercial break tonight, and we'll see what happens when we get back to finish this race out. Once again, you're watching the Western States Racing League round number 11 from the Glen on Sim Racing Media. Welcome back, everybody, to Sim Racing Media and the Western States Racing League. I am Mike Timoni up in the booth once again here. Pit stops have commenced. Christian Mard came in on lap 19. Christian Bishop 18. Lyle Swearingen on 19. Justin T. Wilkinson also on lap 19. Jeff Schmeier came in on lap 16. He is running the fastest on track right at the moment with the 1:13.72. We'll see if he can work his way back towards the front. Andrew Schulte right now is hanging out in P1. P2 is Justin Michael. Justin Michael had a little hiccup there after he was running P2 for quite a while. Wayne Hutchinson stayed out, up 11 spots for the moment. And Ryan Steele also has stayed out, up 8 spots in P4. So as they work their way through this race, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a pit stop. It's just a matter of when. Almost everybody was elected to take it pretty much halfway. That way they have the freshest tires and the correct amount of fuel. But some of these drivers are going to drive as far as they can and then hit pit lane and see what happens. But we'll see what the time difference is between the drivers that did not pit and the ones that did. Andrew Schulte right now, last lap was a 1:16. And we'll see what Chris Simard is once he gets here through the start-finish line, as he is now back up to speed. His last lap was a 1:13.85, so almost 3 seconds faster than the drivers that did not pit. So you're giving up a bunch of time by staying out, and I don't know that it's going to be worth it, because you're spending 46, 47 seconds on pit lane as soon as you get there anyway. But it did kind of jumble the field up just a little bit here. See if Andrew Schulte is going to pit yet. Doesn't look like it. Justin Michael probably going to stay out, follow his lead. See if Wayne Hutchinson elects to do so, as he's only got a couple cars between him and the proverbial leaders here. Like he's staying out as well. Ryan Steele just in front of Chris Simard. Chris Simard down to the inside, going to try and make a pass here. Chris Simard has the position going into turn one. Should be able to hold it pretty well, and he does. Puts a car between himself and Christian Bishop. Christian Bishop pulls right down to the inside, going to make that pass almost immediately as they're coming up the hill to through the S's. Headed towards that back straight here. Chris Simard working on Wayne Hutchinson now. Easy pass for him. Christian Bishop got stuck behind Hutchinson going through the bus stop there. Lyle Swearingen closing in pretty quickly, as Bishop has to check up, as Wayne Hutchinson is not getting out of his way and staying on that preferred line. Bishop gets by, but so does Swearingen. So that allows Hutchinson to peel off and go down pit lane. So we're left with three cars that haven't pitted. Schulte, Michael, and Steele. Right now, Andrew Schulte has a 17-second lead over Chris Simard, but you have to spend 47 or so seconds on pit lane, so that time's going to evaporate pretty quickly, as Wayne Hutchinson pitted from basically say P3, and he is down to 14th right now after dropping all of those positions. Schulte still staying out. See the gap between Simard and Wayne Hutchinson is about 42 seconds, and he spent 48 seconds on pit lane, so that's about how much of a gap you're going to lose when you make that pit stop. Justin Michael is inside 10 seconds in front of Chris Simard here, as we're getting closer to go time here. So we got Andrew Schulte, Justin Michael, 1-2 right now. Both cars have not hit pit lane yet. Chris Simard pitted on lap 19 and is running inside 10 seconds to Justin Michael. Looks like that gap has pretty much stabilized, but he is pulling away from Christian Bishop by almost a second now. Lyle Swearingen about a half second back of Bishop. Justin T. Wilkinson is 3 back. Ryan Steele 2.5 back. Looks like Dan Brazenton had an issue there and got it cleaned up and jumped to the pits, stayed out of the way. Jeff Schmeier running P8 right now. Was the earliest driver to hit pit lane, pitted on lap 16. Butch Davis just behind him in P9. Michael Melfeld Jr. back up inside the top 10. So we're going to see how long Schulte and Michael elect to stay out. We are basically working through lap 26 here, so going to be inside 9 laps to go momentarily. So 10 to go here. Andrew Schulte still rolling through. Like it's going to be... We'll see if he's going to make it on fuel. I would assume that wasn't a possibility with the way Chris Simard came down basically with no real reason to otherwise. Justin Michael still out rolling through, as is Chris Simard and Christian Bishop are trying to close that gap. Chris Simard has the gap to Justin Michael down inside 5 seconds now, as he is still running almost 2 seconds faster at the moment. Chris Simard has run almost a picture-perfect race for the moment. Jeff Schmeier made another pass over Ryan Steele. Ryan Steele still hasn't pitted. He's out there on the older tires. Jeff Schmeier up to 7th. Butch Davis right on his back bumper, though. And Andrew Schulte still not stopping. Neither is Justin Michael. Chris Simard is closing in, though, with every lap. With 8 laps to go, the gap between Simard and Schulte is 8 seconds. The gap from Simard to Justin Michael is under 1.5. You can see him now. He is on the attack, and we'll see if Chris Simard's going to be able to get through there. Let's Like Rob Gall had an issue here. Let's jump back and take a look here. See if we can get a little action going on here. Coming through the bus stop. Oh, just a little too much speed. Oh, good there. Well, we'll have to see if Andrew Schultz is going to be saving enough fuel. Because right now, with the time everybody else has spent on pit lane, he's going to wind up coming out 12th or 13th position if he pits. If he stays out and doesn't have to pit, makes it all the way on one fuel cycle, I don't know that Chris Simard is going to be able to catch him with 7 laps to go. You can see him in the back there, but you can just see how much room he has. Chris Simard is going to be on the back bumper of Justin Michael momentarily. He was 10 seconds back, and now he's down inside a half second, and he is closing with every turn. Chris Simard doesn't have to save fuel. He doesn't have to worry about tires. He's made his pit stop, and he is going to take everything he can and try and get that 77 machine back to the front where it was most of the night. Justin Michael almost into that outside wall. Chris Simard going to pull down to the inside. We're going to see if he can make that pass, as Christian Bishop is also staying there. Justin Michael gets forced to the high side and has to stay wide. Chris Simard gets a little loose. See if Christian Bishop's going to be able to take advantage, and Christian Bishop will. Christian Bishop down to the inside makes that pass. Chris Simard has to settle for, I'll call it third place right at the moment. Justin Michael looks like he's fading back a little ways. Christian Bishop now within 7 seconds of the leader, Andrew Schultz. We'll see how much speed Christian Bishop can get out of this Xfinity car as they're rolling through the corners here. Chris Simard looking to get back into second place. He wants to be the one to pounce on Schultz if Schultz happens to make a mistake or has to come down pit lane. Lyle Swearingen to the inside of Justin Michael, going to see if he can take that position away. Justin Michael overdrives the corner a little bit with Lyle Swearingen's help. The gap is now 6 seconds between Bishop and Schultz. 5 laps to go. They're going to try and close in as much as they can. Gap's getting closer to 5 seconds. But I think the gap has now, or the tire wear has now stabilized. So they're running almost identical lap times, give or take half a second or so. If they're only getting half a second a lap and they're 6 seconds back, there's no way they're going to catch Andrew Schultz. The only hope they have is if Andrew Schultz runs out of fuel or makes a mistake. Four laps to go. 5 second gap. Like Justin Michael went off track just a little bit there, coming through the penultimate corner once again. But Andrew Schultz is going to have to hope he has enough fuel to make it to the end. 4 laps to go. Well, 3.5 basically. Still has about almost a 5-second lead still. He is going to have a car in front of him. Looks like that probably is Rob Gall. Christian Bishop, Chris Simard battling out back here. Christian Bishop takes that corner way wide, as does Lyle Swearingen. Almost follows the exact same line. But it looks like he didn't lose any speed. He's still closing the gap. Going to be coming to 3 to go this time by. Andrew Schulte is going to try and no stop this race. Andrew Schultz is going to try and put that patented paints number 81 into victory lane here. He just needs about 7 miles of fuel left. Rob Gall kind of slowing him down just a little bit. See if Andrew Schultz pulls to the inside, and he will, headed down the carousel. Penultimate corner coming to the final one. 2 laps to go. And the gap is now down to under 2.5 seconds. That last time Christian Bishop ran a 1:14.78 to Andrew Schultz's 1:16.77, so 2 seconds faster. That gap disappeared pretty quickly. I mean, you can see him in your rear view, but he is still driving away with the race at the moment. Christian Bishop got by Rob Gall pretty quickly. Now that gap is under 2 seconds. Going to be getting the white flag as they come around one more time. White flag in the air. Andrew Schulte has got to make it around and hope he does not run out of fuel. Christian Bishop in second, closing that gap with every turn, but I don't know that he's going to have enough. Chris Simard ran a heck of a race, sitting P3 right now. Made one little mistake. Christian Bishop capitalized and took P2 away. But final lap, Andrew Schulte has got to be almost trying to coast to make sure he has enough fuel. That gap is now down to a second. Christian Bishop driving his heart out, trying to get back to the front, trying to go back-to-back here at Watkins Glen. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it coming through the carousel. Not too much time left. Christian Bishop tries to put everything he has into the speed of that 26 Chevy. Andrew Schulte is going to be blocking hard. Coming to the penultimate corner. Andrew Schulte still has the lead. Christian Bishop down to his inside. See if he's going to try and cross him over and cut the corner. He does not quite have enough there. Inside he goes. But Christian Bishop is going to have to settle for P2 as Andrew Schulte wins. Christian Bishop in second, Chris Simard third, Lyle Swearingen brings home fourth, Justin T. Wilkinson in fifth. As everybody in the race chat is asking how. We'll see if we can ask. We'll ask Andrew when he gets here in the booth, but let's see who jumped up here. I mean, he's got to be out of fuel. Maybe not. Heck of a race there, though, by Andrew Schulte. We'll see if we can talk to third place finisher here. Andrew burns it down. Apparently had just enough fuel to do that. Chris, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you guys? How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Well, that was a heck of a run. I'm assuming that you thought you had to pit and elected to basically cut it in half.
Yeah, I don't know how Andrew did that to make it the whole way. He ran 36 laps. I don't know. The furthest I could probably make was 34 laps, but I was pushing it a little bit, so maybe that's why. So
yeah, I don't know. At the end there, you guys were running almost 2 second faster lap times than Andrew, but he didn't have to pit, so you guys had to overcome that 47-second pit lane time. But heck of a race. You wound up leading. I'm gonna say you wound up leading probably the most laps here. Not bad for coming back after your surgery there.
Yeah, I'm tired. My hip hurts from the surgery, but it was a good run. Anyways, I didn't think I had the speed to stay out front, but I did. So I'm happy about that. So, but I'm exhausted. So
definitely. Well, with that being said, congrats on your P3 finish. Anybody want to thank before I let you out of here?
I'd like to thank FBR Sim Rig Accessories Creation Studio, all my teammates. I know they give me a hard time sometimes, but they all help out tremendously. So I thank them for that. My wife and son, you guys up in the booth, and I think that's it. I can't think of anyone else. But.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and welcome back to the league as well.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back. So
definitely, man. Well, congrats again, and I will talk to you later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. All right. Let's see here. Christian, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
Good. Could be a tenth or two better, but what are you gonna do?
Definitely. I thought maybe you were gonna put the bumper to him coming through that final corner, but you didn't do that. Andrew was able to save just enough fuel to make it there, but heck of a run. You almost go back to back here at Watkins, Glen.
Yeah, I don't know how he managed to save that much fuel. It's pretty crazy. I guess he was probably saving from the very start of the race. But I've never been one to, bumper someone to try and get by. I thought I might downshift a second at the last turn and get a little bit more, just a little bit if I had enough grip left, but I did not opt to do that because you risk just spinning the tires up and then not finishing at all. So I figured I would take the second at that point. Just needed like one more lap.
Yeah, I know you were closing in when you first started. It was after you got by Chris there. You were somewhere around 7 seconds to close it within, a quarter of a second. I mean, that was pretty amazing there.
Yeah, the tire difference really helped, and we both hit traffic at weird times, but I think he hit a little bit more traffic at weirder times, especially with not having the grip from having a fresh set of tires in the middle of the race. Makes passing traffic a lot more difficult. So yeah, he managed it really well, especially with the fuel. So it was really good from him. Just wish I had a little bit more time.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats on your P2 finish. Anybody want to thank before I let you out of here?
Thank Spaceship Racing, all the guys there, and ZFG, always keeping me honest and keeping me in the rig and keeping me trying to get faster. So, shout out to them.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again on another road course podium. Looking forward to seeing what you can do the rest of the season here, but congrats again on P2.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, let's see here. Andrew, Mike up in the booth. How's it going, man?
How we doing, Mike? Not too shabby.
Definitely. So I'm assuming you had either tried that or decided that you were just going to save fuel from the beginning, because you and Justin were the only ones that even tried it.
I didn't try it beforehand. A little discussion in our room, Teams or Discord before or as the race was starting was you could get close, but we didn't know if you could do it. And so I know we all kind of qualified about the same speed, us like top 4, top 5. And so I figured it was going to be pretty tight, and I'm one to go for a fuel race, I guess, depending upon how close it is. So we just went for it and just had to save the whole race on all ends of the track and just made it happen. I think we had another half a gallon left in the tank at the end of the race, which if I would have paid a little bit more attention to that, because I was paying attention more to the relative to see how close Christian was getting to me, and so I probably could have ran the last lap a little bit harder, but I was very worried about running out of fuel right at the end after pacing the whole race to make it there. But it was tough. But once one of those decisions where you make your bed, you gotta lay in it. It's whether or not you're gonna make it or not, you just gotta try.
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I saw that you weren't pitting after 25, 26 laps, I'm like, okay, he's just going to go for it. I mean, worst case scenario, you finish back where you would have finished pretty much if you pitted. So nothing really lost and everything gained here. So you probably increase your lead over Justin Michael and Michael Melfeld Jr. after a win like this. So congrats on that. Anybody you want to thank before I get you out of here tonight?
Appreciate it. Yeah, shout out to Justin. I know he wasn't planning on doing a fuel or going the whole race on a fuel run, but I think he spun out or got real loose out of turn 1 once, and from there he kind of decided. So I think he would have been tough to beat also if he would have started doing it from the drop of the green flag. But nonetheless, a top 10 for him. So glad to see he's there. It's always fun racing with Justin and Michael Milfelt and Charlie. We all race in the same Discord and good chats throughout the race. Hopefully everyone out there enjoyed the broadcast. Hopefully you didn't spend too much time on me, because it was pretty boring behind the steering wheel. But hopefully the end got exciting there with Christian closing up on me. And shout out to Scott Patton for Patented Paints for whipping up this Patented Paints paint job, and everyone out there at WSRL. I love racing here. These guys are real competitive, blast to hang out with, and looking forward to next week.
Definitely, man. Well, congrats again.
Appreciate it.
So that was the top 3 here from the Western States Racing League. Let's go ahead and bring up the race finish here. Andrew Schulte pulled a fuel strategy race. As he said, just was saving from the drop of the green and was able to get there. Christian Bishop was closing hard, able to finish second, just about a quarter second back. Christian Ward made a little mistake and winds up third. Lyle Swearingen fourth, Justin T. Wilkinson in fifth, Butch Davis sixth, Justin Michael seventh, Jeff Schmeier, Brian Barnes, Ryan Steele round out that top 10. Michael Melfeld Jr. in 11th, Mike Fisher, Chad Simpson, Wayne Hutchinson, Rob Gall round out that 15. Earl Weaver, Julian Ricci, David Weaver round out the top 18. We go back to Michael Bourne, Barry Phil, and Chad Stearns, Dan Brazington, Bob Beltrami, Charlie Widener of the drivers who took the green flag. But that will do it here from Watkins Glen. Next week, we are at Atlanta, still in the Xfinity cars, and we head to Nashville Superspeedway and London in the next gens. We'll see where the rest of the season takes us. But from all of us here from all the drivers of the Western States Racing League and all of us here at Sim Racing Media, I want to wish you good night, and I will see you next time.